Hello everyone, welcome back to the Human Reviews channel, and today, we have another classic. My last video was on a classic, it was on Abbey Road by the Beatles, and we got another one today, because today we are doing Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, this album, just like Abbey Road, is iconic. It is hailed as one of the greatest albums of all time. Multiple massive songs on this album: Dreams, The Chain, Go On Your Way. I have, of course, heard those songs before. Yeah, this album is insanely popular, and it's one that I have been meaning to get to for the longest time, so I thought, you know what, considering I just did the Beatles, I might as well do this Fleetwood Mac album as well. This album came out in 1977. It is 11 songs, 39 minutes, even though it's basically 40 minutes. Yeah, surprisingly pretty short. I thought this album would have been way longer, but I do prefer a shorter album, so I'm not complaining. With that being said, I think I'm just going to get straight into it with track 1, which is Second Hand News. So isn't the lore behind this album that that the band members were all going through like relationship troubles at the time, and this album is about like dealing with that? I think that's the lore behind this album, at least. I know the two lead singers, I think they were married, right? And then they were going through relationship troubles at the time, and that's what this is about. I think I might have my lore wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the lore behind this. I'm really liking how energetic this first song is. It's a really nice tone setter, I suppose. The instrumental isn't really, like, blowing me away. It is very simple. It is very standard. But it's nice, it's solid. I do think the energy is what's carrying it, though. Two couples, one married, one not within the band, both breaking up at the same time during recording. Wow. Oh, the electric guitar going crazy in the background, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, fade out's a little whatever. That song picked the hell up in the second half, I'm not gonna lie. The second half of that song was so good. The first half was decent, it was solid. It just wasn't doing the best job at, like, keeping me gripped and engaged in the song. The second half, though, where the instrumental just picks the hell up, and the energy of the track just reaches this really intense high, and it just doesn't let up until the very end. Fade out's a little weak, but, you know, it's fine. Second half kind of carried, I'm not gonna lie. The writing here, as well, is very interesting. It's obviously kind of a reflection on the relationship troubles of the people in the band, and it's doing a good job of establishing that as the theme and possibly even concept of the album. So yeah, the writing here is doing a great job at that. Honestly, this first track, I would give it an 8.6. Feeling an 8.6 on this first track. It's really good, but I just wish the intro was a little stronger, you know what I'm saying? The Beatles are the Radiohead of the UK. Could not be truer. Could not be truer. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, next track, Dreams. I am almost certain I've heard this one. It has 1.4 billion streams. You could definitely see how this influenced, like, Big Thief. She sounds exactly like Adrian Lenker. Like, her voice sounds almost identical to Adrian Lenker's, dude. Okay, that chorus was incredible. The harmonies were fantastic. The layering was incredible. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not actually sure I've heard this song. It has almost 1.5 billion streams on Spotify, and I don't know if I've heard it because I don't recognize it right now. There is a very possible chance that, like, I've not heard this song. You know, I like that the song is called Dreams, and it sounds like it's in a dream. It just like, the sound of this is so bright and vibrant. What's the word I'm looking for? Surreal, I guess? This is incredibly recorded. The drums, in particular, sound amazing. Like, the cymbals aren't washy or, like, too intense in the slightest. React to John Cage 433. I have no clue what that is. What is John Cage 433? A classical piece that's just 7 minutes of silence? See, I was talking over the intro there. Outro there. Sorry, you don't want to do that. That was incredible. That was amazing. That song has almost 1.5 billion streams, and I have never heard it. How? I know I've heard The Chain, and I think I've heard Go On Your Way. I don't know how I've never heard that. Firstly, amazing chorus. Layering, incredible. Harmonies, fantastic. Recording of this, actually perfect. Just the sound of the drums, and the cymbals in particular, is actual perfection. Especially for something that came out in the 70s. Writing, as well, is, again, doing a great job of, I guess, progressing the theme and taking it in a different and unique direction. I'm not really going to be diving too deep into the lyrics throughout this, but from what I picked up, this definitely is doing a great job of keeping the theme and, I guess, concept of this together. Yeah, that song was like, honestly, I am feeling a 10 on that song, genuinely. That was very good. That was, yeah, I can see why that song is so huge, and I am shocked that I hadn't heard it already. I'm just gonna move on. Next track, Never Going Back Again.
Made me see where I've been.
Wow. Yeah, the thing that's working best about this album so far is the production elements, with the harmonies, the backing vocals, the layering, stuff like that. That is what's, like, really carrying, is the recording and the production. That is hands down the best thing about this. It's funny, it's similar to Abbey Road, I guess, in that it's a classic album that has aged incredibly, and it's, like, regarded as, like, one of the best. I know people talk about the production on this one a lot as well, like, similar to the way they do with Abbey Road.
You don't know what it means to win.
Nice, yeah. That one isn't the most mind-blowing track on the album so far. It's not the most overwhelmingly incredible song, but it's just a really solid, simple little piece that's incredibly well written and amazingly recorded. Again, the backing vocals were definitely the best thing about that track, where they would just come in and out, and they were so good because it filled up. I can't speak. I need to learn how to talk. I say this every time. I can't talk. That's what made the track feel so full, is the backing vocals, and it's hands down, like, the best thing about this song. I'm feeling an 8.8 on that one. It's really nice. Again, not the most insanely good, insanely mind-blowing thing on the album, but it's good. It's solid. It's really nice. Alright, next track, Don't Stop. The intro to this song is the least engaging so far. Out of all of the intros to every single track, I feel like this one is just the hardest to get into. I don't know, it started off a little too dense, but also a little too slow at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is the most difficult intro to get into so far.
Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
The random little guitar solos that they're adding in here, just like out of nowhere, are like actually incredible. They sound great. Like they make no sense in context, but they work so well. Okay. That was probably my least favorite song so far, but it was still very solid. Yeah, the intro was very difficult to get into. Again, I feel like the instrumental was too dense and it moved a little too slow. Solid vocals, but the lyrics didn't really do much for me on this one. But as the song picked up, I did start to feel it a little more, and particularly towards the end there, I think it definitely started clicking a lot better than it did in the start. I would give that one... I would still give that one a flat 8, because the positives do far outweigh the negatives, but I definitely feel like that one could have been a lot better. Alright, next track, another massive, massive hit off of this album. Next track, Go On Your Way.
How can I ever change things that I feel when you won't take it from me?
What other full album reviews am I thinking about doing? When we hit 500 subs, which will be very soon, the channel has been growing at an insane rate the past couple of days. When we hit 500 subs, I'm doing Toxicity by System of a Down. It's an album I've already heard, but I want to make a video on it because it's my second favorite album of all time. When I'm also going to be doing the Green Day album when it comes out this week. It's going to be bad. The album is going to be terrible. It's not going to be a good album. But it might be a fun video. I'm not going to make it into a video. I'm just going to stream it. I'm going to be reacting to the Smile album when it comes out, which I think comes out on the 26th of January. And then I'm also going to be doing a video on Metallica's Black album soon, because that's, because I haven't actually heard that album before yet. So, Father of All is so fire, yeah? Wasn't that like Fantano's first, like, genuine zero? I know he had given some albums, like, zeros before, but as, like, a joke. That album, he, like, legitimately gave it, like, a 0, didn't he? Like, he meant it when he gave it a 0, right? That is insane. For a band as big and as important to pop punk as Green Day, for Fantano to give them a 0... Also, by the way, American Idiot sucks. That album is actually most boring album ever made. It's so bad.
If I could, baby, I'd give you my world.
Yeah, I love the writing on this. Firstly, it's so it's like slightly spiteful, with a little bit of, like, sadness and, I guess, sorrow about what's going on in terms of, like, the relationships here. It's like, you can go your own way, I don't care, you can call it another lonely day, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, I don't care about you, but at the same time, if I could, I'll give you my whole world. That is very interesting, and it's a really cool way of tackling this subject. And also, the song's just going hard as hell right now. This is probably my second favorite instrumental so far, behind Rumours. Like, this is just absolutely slapping right now. Again, immaculately recorded drums. Oh, and that bass line too, Jesus Christ. Nice. Yeah, that's... Oh my god, the electric guitars coming in there, that's great. Oh, and the shaker too? I just noticed that shaker in the left channel. But I need to talk about this snare sound. That is one of my favorite snare sounds, when you just have such like a fat, like dead, low-tuned snare. It's so cool. It sounds so good. Especially with the way albums were recorded in like the 60s and the 70s. They sound particularly good on like older recordings like that. It's so cool. That is my second favorite song on the album so far. That was amazing. That was so good. My favorite in terms of lyrics, firstly. This is hands down the best written song so far. And it's the one that best... It's the best at, like, portraying the concept and themes of the album. And does it in a way that is, like, actually legitimately impactful. The sound of this song was incredible. Like, this is my second favorite instrumental so far. I think the energy and the amount of switch-ups and just the amazing recording. I cannot overstate how good the recording of this album is. The amazing recording. It's so good. It's incredible. And the pacing as well is, like, actually perfect. This song is a 9.7 for me. It's... The more that I think about it, actually... I don't have any problems with it, and I think this would be like an actually like really replayable song. So I'm bumping it up to a 10 for now, okay? It might go back down, but for now, song's another 10. That was very good. All right, next track, Songbird. All right, we got a sad piano ballad. It's actually a nice change of pace after a very energetic first 5 tracks.
The sun will be shining, and I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. To you, I'll give the world. To you, I'll never be
Okay.
cold.
So what I'm getting from this is that Stevie Nicks' songs seem to be more focused on the sadness and the regret that comes with relationship struggles like this. And the other guy, I forget the other guy's name. I'm really sorry, I forget his name. His songs seem to be more about anger and I guess explicitly explaining the problems themselves as opposed to the reaction to them. It is the in the moment upset and outrage and anger, and that's why his songs seem to be a lot more energetic. It's very interesting. It's making the flow of the album very weird, but I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's nice to see both sides of this, I guess, and it's honestly probably the best way they could have gone about this. It's like so unique and so weird, but it's keeping me way more engaged than I think it would if it was just energetic rock tracks for 11 songs. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. That's even making more sense because I've heard The Chain, obviously, and I know what The Chain is about, and I guess this is leading towards that. Okay, it's making even more sense. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I'm not a genius. That's such a reach. It is such a reach for me. What's the other guy's name? I need to figure this out. It is P. Green.
And the songbirds keep singing like they know the score.
Yeah, seeing... Okay. Having a more stripped back piano ballad here and seeing a more emotionally vulnerable side to the album is such a great and necessary change of pace, because I don't think this would be anywhere near as impactful or land as well as it does were it to just be 11 really energetic songs about the anger and resentment in a row. Having something like this where it's more focused on the sadness and the deeper emotional moments, is very much needed to make this album land as well as it has so far. Stevie Nicks, incredible, gorgeous vocal performance here. Writing is fantastic. Recording of this is incredible. It's so simple, it's so stripped back, but I think that's what makes it work so well. I'd give that one a 9.6. Yeah, that song was great. It was incredible. Now, here's the question. Do I make it a two-parter? And that is going to do it for part 1 of Rumours. The first half of this album is amazing. It's so well written. It's aged perfectly. The recording is incredible. And I think this is just one of the best, like, 70s albums I've heard in terms of, like, memorability and definitely production as well. Let me know what you think of the first half of this album down below. Make sure to like and sub. Our goal is 500 subs by February. Join the Discord. Let me know what other albums you want me to check out. And I will see you all in part 2. Goodbye.